Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming back to another episode of J1Q. Just one question, that podcast that is dedicated to nothing but inspiration, resources, and dedication of helping all of our minority communities grow with different information they may or may not have known. Today's guest I'm excited to have because I'm glowing because one, I've never even met a Grammy nominated considered artist. But today we have Shaneen Bonner coming on, who's a two-time Grammy considered award winning Billboard charting music artist and author. And she is working to start her own record label company. So if this interests you, and I'm sure it is, if you've ever wanted to know a little bit more about the industry, this episode is for you. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen, because we have Miss Bonner coming up. So give a round of applause for our guest, Shaneen Bonner. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
And I am so glad to be here. You know, every time people sometimes take for granted that opportunity just to wake up and enjoy the beautiful day. I don't care if it's cloudy, I don't care if it's, too hot, whatever, we have that opportunity to enjoy that day. So thank you very much. Now, I'm going to ask you in just a moment to kind of give a little quick introduction of yourself because, like I always tell my listeners, they can read the bio, they can read what's written on the screen, but sometimes when they hear it coming from the guests themselves, it's just a little bit more interesting. So just take a few seconds and let this audience know who you are, and the floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Shaneen Bonner. I am a two-time Grammy considered artist, Billboard charting artist. I am a grandmother. I am an author. I am a CEO of Decree Records. And I am a mother, and I am an advocate for teen pregnancy and domestic violence.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's something that I believe that's so strong when we're able to just reach out and say, "I this is who I am." Right? Years past, it would have been so, I don't want to say hard or difficult, but people didn't. It wasn't prevalent to say, "This is who I am." Right? It
Yeah.
was just, "I'm a homemaker," or "I'm a construction worker," and that's all you were. We can be so much more in this world, and I
Mhm.
absolutely love that. So I'm going to ask you a question because I'm hearing uh, something in your voice. I want to know, where are you from? This is so interesting to me.
You know what? I'm actually from Flint, Michigan, by the way of Los Angeles, California. I've
Okay.
been here for 12 years. Are you hear the Midwestern accent?
Yep. I was like, it's something I can just hear it like that. So I love that. Flint, Michigan. So yes. So all right. So Janine, now we're sitting here talking, and I like to take my listeners kind of through a journey. I paint a picture for them, right? Because it's easy to say, this is where I'm at. This is what I do. But I love for someone to sit back and say, well, how did you begin? How did this journey? Did you always? When did you find out you could sing? When did you find out this? So paint a picture for our listeners, and maybe start off with how you got into the industry of, or not even the industry, how you got into wanting to sing. Let us know about that.
Well, the picture was started when I was 8 years old. My mother would sit me on her lap and sing Minnie Riperton back down memory lane. And so that's basically my family was my first audience. So that's how basically that has came about. And throughout the years, singing in, church choirs, talent shows through junior high school and different other things. And I've just always had the passion for singing. So and then I just back in 2000, the early 2000s, maybe the late 90s, I just decided, I said, I'm going to do my first single, my first album. So I did the first album, and then from there on, I just it's just been me and singing, and I'm enjoying it.
I love that. And I've never been one who can carry a tune. I love to sing. Don't get me wrong. Get me in the shower. I'm singing, but I'm not afraid to sing. It's just it almost seems like it invokes a different emotion and it takes you out of
Yeah.
where you're at, and it just and with someone's voice, it's like if you can hit you hear it and 3 seconds later you're like woo, right?
Yeah.
It can change
Yeah.
someone's day. Someone could be sad and down and they hear us. Wow, right? That's a powerful thing. And have you ever felt like you have, I don't want to say power, but an influence to help someone's moment change? Or has anyone ever told you that, hey, hearing what you said or what you sung, it made me kind of feel like, wow, this is so powerful?
Well, you know what? I guess, well, like I said, I start back with my mother. You know, she'll sit me on my, and I'll start off, I stumbled on this photograph, and so, and after that, it's like, it kind of made her feel much, much better just to hear me sing. And two, I think singing does bring an emotional feel, and it has even for my own personal life. I can hear some songs, and it will make me feel better if I'm feeling down. So yes, I truly believe that songs and music can shift the atmosphere in your life.
Yeah, it's just like those memories that come back sometimes, and maybe even if you're driving and you're just stuck in traffic or you whatever, and a song comes on and you hear, and it's like you start moving and
Yeah.
bumping in the car or whatever. I love that feeling, and it's even something that when we think back to it, if we let's say we're sitting down on the couch or in a chair and we're like, oh, what's that song? What's the words to that song? But then as soon as you hear like one or two, three notes, it's like you can remember the entire song, but you can't remember it without that beat or without that music coming on. And it just kind of just drives the soul. So now you said back in like the 2000s, that's when you started working towards um, getting the album and stuff done. But let's talk
Mhm.
for any listeners who may be thinking, because I hear this a lot from people who think the industry is just so easy, right? What are some trials or tribulations that you went through, um, you know, and that helped you persevere through it? Because this was a goal you wanted. This was something you said, nothing's going to stop me from getting to this point. But what are some roadblocks that you had along the way?
You know what? And what a lot of people don't like to hear no. And so I that word no for me was, it may be no right now, but it's not no forever. And so because it's this is a very, very, very hard industry to get into, first of all. And so a lot of stumbling blocks. It can be from, no, you can just be discouraged from someone telling you no. I don't like your sound. I don't like your music. And I've always come to the realization I'm not called to everybody. Everybody may not like my song, but somebody like my song. And so and that's how I adjust with it and try to overlook and plug my ears to the people that's coming with the negativity.
Yeah, just make sure you don't plug your ears to her music, ladies and gentlemen.
Ah.
She do right. And I truly believe in that because when you have that goal and nothing's in you going to stop you in your way. There was a movie or TV series I was watching one time with Taraji P Henson. It's called Empire, and it kind of talks about the music industry and stuff. And I remember hearing her say once on there that the streets aren't made for everyone. That's why they made sidewalks. And to
Mm.
me, it was like if you're wow, the the streets will teach you. The streets, the people who walk through the streets, and those are the ones that are going to make it. If if you don't have the grit, you don't have that grind, then just walk
Hmm.
on the sidewalk because this industry will eat you alive, spit you out, everything that comes with it. So
And run you
and
over.
run you over, right, and then back up again. Just so for everyone who's listening right now to Shaneen speak about this, that doesn't mean hey, give up on it, right? It means just if you hear some no's, because you're going to hear some no's, You
Mhm.
just got to be strong enough to say, "That's I got it. Let me find a way around it. Let me find a way
Mhm.
over it. Let me get through that wall that's stopping me." So I absolutely love that. So let's talk about really quick your new single that I hear coming out that's called "Praise." Right, and ladies and
Mhm.
gentlemen, you can download the latest single. I think there's some several places where you can download it. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, a lot of several places, right? And I'm going to watch a little video here, but I'm checking out her website. So if you're listening and you're not seeing this, you can also check out her website at ShaneenCBonner.com. That's SHANEEN, the letter C, BONNER.com. So tell us about this latest single. What does it mean? What is it about? Where did
Mhm.
it come from?
Well, I'm a gospel artist, and so and actually that this single and the my first single, that was kind of birthed out of homelessness. When I came to California, I was homeless. Sometimes you come for a dream, but you end up getting a pipe dream first. And so
Yeah.
so I have always been the one to love to write music. So how praise came about, I was just sitting in my recliner, and I just heard the melody and all of that, and I just started writing it. Took it to my producer, and he jumped on the backgrounds, and and that's how praise came about. And
Yeah. It just it's those moments where sometimes you're not even thinking about something and it just go, oh, there it is. That's the
yeah.
idea, right? And you keep going with it. I absolutely love
Hmm.
that story because, you know, I know sometimes when I hear stories and people say, oh, you know what, I had to write it 50 million times because it needed to be perfect, you know.
Hmm.
And sometimes I'm like, just get it out there, just get it started, and then, everything will fall into place rather
Yeah.
than, oh, take this out and do it that. And I love it. And so make sure y'all go look at a website because I'm looking at this and I'm talking about top notch, ladies and gentlemen. There's a video on there and we're talking about like everything merch shops, look at that. And if you're looking for some ways to maybe get in touch with her, there's some ways you can book her and all of those things like that. It's really exciting and I'm absolutely loving it. So now that you're um, in that phase, you're in this industry, and how long have you been in it first? Let's start with that.
um so it had to be at least, no, it's over 10, so about 20 years, because I started in the early, either the late 90s. I have to go back and look at the album cover, but the late 90s, early 20s. But
Look,
they had album covers back then. We had the cassette tapes back then.
I was about to say we just dated ourselves because you started to break out the album covers, but hey,
Yeah.
listen, ladies and gentlemen listening right now, I know this new music and everything is great and all of that, and that's, but let me tell you something about vinyl. Ooh, y'all don't understand. There's a difference in the smoothness, the richness of the sound. If you got a record store in your city or the ability to get to one, check out some vinyl. I know the
Yeah.
CDs and everything is great, but vinyl and now I'm not going to talk about the cassette tapes because those things get messed up too much, and and then you have to
Right.
take a pen and then you start rewinding it and everything
Wow.
like that.
Yes. Yes.
So now you said album cover, and then you said the praise that just came out in your first one. So I also want to ask you about your first one, and then we're going to come back to praise in just a second. But was there that nervousness or this maybe feeling of like I don't know if I deserve. I know a lot of people sometimes say I don't deserve to be doing this or being here. What was the
Mhm.
first feeling of your first single and getting into that album session like that?
Yeah, you actually, it's a nervousness, but then I had to overcome it. Like, I belong here. This is what God has called me to do, and I'm going to do it. And so, and actually, when I was in the studio, worked with the engineers. He worked with a lot of celebrities, hip hop, R&B. I think I was his first gospel, but he and the engineer, all of us were sitting in the studio. So how I knew that my song "Great God" was basically a hit, he stepped out of the studio. He said, "I got to make a call," and so I heard. Next thing you know, I heard somebody in the hallway saying, "What a great God we serve!" And I'm turning around, me and the producer turning around. It's the engineer outside singing a song, and so, so I know that at that time, that if somebody like him can sing it, and this gave me the kind of like, okay, I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah, man, that's got to be that feeling of like sometimes when watching a movie and we see watch movies of back like with the Temptations days and all that, and then they're
Hmm.
riding in a vehicle, and it's like moment when they first hear it, maybe on the radio or they first hear it, something like that,
Hmm.
and it's that feeling like, oh, that's us, like I could just picture that. You walk out and hear someone else just sing. Wait, that's my song. Yep, this is the song that needs to be there. Love
Yeah,
it. And now
yeah.
you also
Mm-hmm.
said that you're an author, and you are working now to start your own record label, or you may have started it. So let's talk about that and tell us about that, because the transition of saying, hey, I'm not only just a singer, but I also maybe want to be involved in this industry so I can help someone navigate through those times that I didn't have someone there to guide me or whatever feeling. Tell us about the
Hmm.
record label and where did that come from and what's your goal with going towards that?
For my record label, the name of it is Decree Records. And, I was in prayer and I just heard the Lord said, "You're going to start a record label in this decree. You're going to get your attorneys. They're going to do all the paperwork up, and that's it." And believe it or not, I followed the steps. And now I have Decree Records. We have two artists that has been signed under us now. And so, other than myself, so it's three artists that's under decree, and so God has really blessed us with this record label. Our office is we are located in Hollywood, so we're doing pretty good. It's been a struggle. It just coming into this industry as a female, that has been like like an obstacle that I had to cross over, because a lot of this is a male dominant industry, and I just had to just step in to say, no, this is a female coming in, and Decree Records is going to make it on the map.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Decree Records. And when you touched on that there and just now, it really uh, um, just hit me because I've seen so many and heard so many stories of people saying this male dominated industry. This is this type of industry, and they just overlook ladies and just to say, well, you. I'm like, are you kidding me? Women are some of the most powerful things out here because
Mhm.
we hear all about, well, they're angry black women or angry. Man, I've not seen any of these ladies go crazy into these stores or any of these other stuff out there. I was raised by a single mom and stuff like that as well. So I understand there's so much more things that go into it, and so I give big props and love to all women in general just out there.
Right.
Keep pushing and don't let this industry, or any male
Yeah.
dominated profession tell you that you can't do it. I want to talk about a subject real quick that you brought up in your intro, and it's my kind of really something serious. We're going to get into the teen pregnancy and something like that because not only do we do our jobs and our work, but we also are like advocates for our communities and
Hmm.
trying to give guidance to helping people out there. And I love that because sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and maybe
Right.
we're in a situation and we don't think anyone else is out there. So why did you decide to get into this, and what is a goal that you want to accomplish? And if there's any young lady out there who's listening to this or a parent who's listening to this that may be going through something like this, take a moment to slow down and listen because something important could be crossing your
Yeah.
ears right now. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, the journey started with me. I was a teen mother. I had my first daughter, at 17, had my second daughter at 19, and had my third daughter at 21. Their dad and I, we had three kids by the age of 21, and we were the ones that people considered as just, you're just too young, you're never going to make it, you guys have these three kids. And so I just want to encourage young women that has been in the, that's there, right there where I have been, that you don't have to give up. Okay, you made the mistake, and you have a child at a very young age, you can still pursue your dreams. I've been to college. I am, like I said in the intro, I own a record label. I am an author. So you can be more than just a teen mother. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be whatever you want to be. And that's why I advocate for teen mothers, because I was once a teen mother.
Yeah, and like you said, you can go through all of this stuff and keep pushing. And what I love to talk about when I maybe do not a lecture, but when I'm speaking in an engagement, sometimes I say, whatever you're going through, right? Picture yourself at some point in the future, no matter how many years it is, but maybe being on a stage that you're seeing me on right now, and telling your story of what you went through. Hey, I was there, and this happened to me, and now I'm here. That can
Mhm.
inspire someone in that audience, someone who's listening right now. I don't care if this reaches a million people, and if only one person heard what you said, and they're like, whoa, I could, and
Mhm.
it helps them out. To me, that is all it's about, and I love that. And another thing that you're, you know, really passionate about, I heard you say, was the domestic violence and DV, and I am as well. My aunt, little shout out to my aunt. Let me see if I can get this here really quick. Where's my I'm trying to get my thing. My aunt, she created, or not created, but she got implemented a law in South Carolina. She's Whereas if someone's in a domestic violence situation and they have to go to the hospital, then that person doesn't have to pay for that bill. They can do something
Wow.
like that. And so she fought
Wow.
for that for so long, and it finally got approved, and she was in the papers and all that. So I'm like, what? Yeah, auntie, let's give it up. Let's give it up.
Wow.
So I love that. And, just those kind of things, to not just say we are one thing, like we were talking about earlier when you said I am this, I am that. We don't have to just be one thing. We don't have to just be an artist. We don't have to just
Mhm.
be a mechanic. You can still assist in your community, right? Be the change that you want to see in
Right.
others, right? I love that. So what are some what are some words of wisdom, advice that you would give to others who are looking to get into this injury and saying, maybe, you know what, I want to reach out to you because I want to learn more, or mentor, or whatever. What are some words of advice you can give to them?
My word of advice is hold on to your passion. Keep going forward. Work hard. And just like that bull, and just keep going forward. And because the thing about it is that here, and what I have just encountered with just being in this industry, no one is going to believe in your vision until you believe in your vision. And so just stay the course and just keep going. You might come across hurdles, you might come across things that you have to overcome, but just keep the vision and keep pursuing. Because when you persevere, that's where you accomplish at the end.
Yeah, just like that, so good. Now, taking a little bit of that sound, let me bring the sound down just a little bit. I was just like, you know what? Let me just push this button. Sometimes we just gotta do what we feel, and I'm gonna bring this out. Let's hear just a little bit of it.
It will open prison. It will heal your body.
Oh man, ladies and
It
gentlemen,
will build your
go
faith
download
up
this. Listen, just
so you
listen,
can
right?
walk on
I know your
water.
feet are patting right now.
He will
Keep going.
set up ambush against your enemies.
That's enough. Hold on, let me stop right now because I'm
You
telling you.
open up
And those are my four grandkids,
What? Oh,
my four
see, look at there.
grandchildren.
You put them inside the video.
Yes, those are my four grandchildren.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go download this single, the album, everything right now. Go to the website. There's a shop there where you can look for different items. Man, this has been so inspiring, such a great communication and talk. And I know some of our listeners are getting something out of that. How can people get in touch with you? I know I read the website, but tell them any other methods or any other ways they can get in touch with you if they want to learn more, they want to hear more, see more, everything.
Well, I'm on all social media, and my social media handles is Shaneen Bonner, and my website is www.shaneencbonner.com. And if you are a gospel artist and you're looking for a new start, look us up at www.decreerecords.com.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Shanine, hang with me for one moment because I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up and get some of these sponsors out here. But I'm gonna come back to you just really quick, all right?
Okay,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
very much. 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for taking another moment and listening to Just One Question. This has been an inspirational and just soul fulfilling conversation. And I know you've got a lot out of that, and I appreciate it. So I just want to keep telling you if you're out there, no matter what you're going through, keep pushing forward, keep believing in yourself and your dreams and your goals. And as I always say as well, make sure that you keep living while you are alive.